It's 11:30, time to check up on tonight's top stories. It's opening night for the circus. Ringling brothers Barnum and Bailey are in Albany, and when they are, so are the protesters. More than 24 people walked with signs protesting the circus's use of animals in the show. There was also a handful of counter-demonstrators promoting the show. After a 5-month cooling-off period, Los Angeles police officer Lawrence Powell will face retrial in the beating of Rodney King. A judge refused to move the trial out of Los Angeles County, a move hailed by prosecutors as a victory. Now let's check in again with John Swantek in the News Channel 13 Operations Center. John?
Chris, a Troy man remains in stable condition at Albany Med with head and chest injuries after his car was struck by a train in Colony this morning. Police say 69-year-old Stephen Greger was crossing a railroad crossing on Elm Street, just west of Route 32. A train on a local run struck the vehicle, pushing it across the road and down an embankment. The investigation continues. 11:31, and that's it from the Operations Center.
Thanks, John. Now for a look ahead to the Times-Union headlines. The morning paper will include a report on Robert Van Voorst, who was released from the Albany County Jail on May 15th. He was being held as a suspect in a Florida murder, but he cooperated with police, who now say he had an alibi. Changes may be underway in the bureaucracy at the State Education Department. 16 high-level workers make more than $90,000 a year, and several of them could be losing their jobs. And there will be an update on North Greenbush Councilman John Ramallo, who's charged with his estranged wife's murder. His lawyers don't want an alleged confession admitted as evidence. Now it's time to take one last look at the weather. Here's Bob Kovachick.
Hey, Chris, the holiday weekend, here's how it shapes up. For tomorrow, Saturday, sunshine to start the day. Temperatures in the 60s. It will be hot, around 91 tomorrow afternoon. Sunday, early Sunday, a shower or two, clearing out quickly. High of 72 on Sunday. Monday, sunshine for Memorial Day, 66. Cool Tuesday and Wednesday, at least cool for this time of the year, with a bit of rain. So one more day of heat, and then we cool down. Have a good holiday.
You too. Okay. Thanks, Bob. Finally tonight, it's time to settle into your favorite chair, butter up the popcorn, and roll the VCR. Johnny Carson's final appearance as host of The Tonight Show is just about to get underway. We join a long list of people who say to Johnny, thanks for the memories.
Johnny Carson was, I couldn't say he discovered me, but when I got on his show, the world came alive for me.
Doing the show with him in the early days, it made you a nervous wreck, and everyone will tell you that. But I think it's just because Johnny's such a pro, and he was always prepared, and I don't know, I miss him.
I have to say, of all the things I've done in my acting, that being on The Tonight Show that first time was absolutely the most thrilling thing I've ever done.
A very interesting feeling when you're sitting there with Johnny Carson and you say, and you call him John, and you have this conversation, and you really don't have anything to push, you don't have anything to, you're not plugging anything, you don't have a joke in your pocket, you're just there. And then Pete Fountain comes out and plays, and he sits next to you, and you're just one of them. It's an incredible feeling, incredible feeling.
I was only on there 5 times, but it totally gave me a career. I didn't have nothing before that.
It was like a dream, because you're so used to seeing him, and to have a one-on-one conversation in that chair is really a neat thing.
My favorite moment as a guest with Johnny was playing Trivial Pursuit. He's kind of a trivia buff too, and he stumped me a few times. I had a lot of fun.
He's very easy to watch. He makes you comfortable, and believe me, that's much harder to do than it looks.
For all of us here who've been on the show and sat next to him and talked to him, and you know, it's a great career, and he's a great comedian. He's going to be sorely missed.
He's something. He's been a big part of our life. And it's awful good. I hate to see him quit.
There'll never be another person exactly like Johnny Carson on the late-night talk shows. I think everybody's going to miss him. And I think we've set our clocks by Johnny Carson.
That morning, on May 22nd, when I wake up and know that that's the last time I'm going to say, here's Johnny, it'll be a sad day for me, sad day for him, and a sad day for most of America.